it's so small. It's like Florida on a weekend for the entire pandemic. I'm not kidding.
No, it's true.
It really is like that.
Yeah. So I'm shocked by the way that it's taking place. I never.
So over there is SHEENA and her 4 puppies.
Would have tried.
What a happy little family.
Enacting this, but
nobody wants any of them.
It seems that way. Although you could argue a former penal colony, maybe it's reverting to type. So, but I think that look, I have no doubt in my mind that this thing originated in the lab. No doubt. There's no doubt. I mean, we're talking about that as the likely scenario back in January of 2020, right? And then people started.
They're always playing like this together.
And they
it's
said
really
it
sweet.
Because it was Trump, right? And which is insane. But so much of what's happened over the past few years has been insane because it's just automatically, if it emanated from the previous administration, it was bullshit, whether it was or not. Right? Some of it was bullshit, but whether it was or not, it didn't matter. So facts didn't matter. But I have no doubt that emanated. Do I think it was deliberate? No. Do I think the Wuhan lab had dealings with the Chinese PLA with the military? Absolutely. Were they, conducting some research on the military's behalf? I have no doubt about that either. But do I think that it was designed and released deliberately? No, I'd probably draw the line at that point. But look, we don't know what we don't know because the Chinese are being so fucking, non-transparent about this, and that's the problem. We just had that last intel assessment came out in late August of this year, and I've never seen anything as an assessment that tells you less. Right, but at least they're honest because they come out and go, well, it's still inconclusive as to whether it originated in the lab because the Chinese won't cooperate, right? And our intel is so poor there, we just don't have the sources. And you're talking about a very heavy lift in terms of getting intel on something this specific, this narrow, out of an environment like China. That, unless we have some way to either steal that information or somehow magically get their cooperation and they open up the books and tell us what the fuck happened, we're not going to know.
But isn't it so interesting how the division in this country is so clear between left and right that left is defending Fauci and not they're essentially ignoring all this information that he and the NIH funded that EcoHealth Alliance, which in turn funded what Rand Paul and many others believe you could describe as gain-of-function research.
Yeah.
They even refer to it in the same way in emails that were released, and Fauci lied in front of Congress when he was being questioned about this. It's pretty clear, right?
Yeah, I think. Again, it's all based on where you sit and try. But if you try to assess this thing objectively, if it's possible to take the politics out of it, and you simply just look at what facts have been established, then you can certainly make the argument that Fauci lied about the extent to which he was aware of what was going on, and then the extent to which there was an effort to try to cover for the Wuhan lab and create a different narrative over this. So it's bullshit at this stage of the game that people still look at this and go, I don't know. It could have been still natural causes and maybe didn't come out of the lab. And that defies logic if you just simply look at pattern of behavior and evidence that exists currently, right? Much less what hopefully will come out.
And then new evidence about the 3 people that worked at the lab that turned out to be sick with illnesses that resemble 100% COVID-19 infection.
Yeah, I just think it's like everything else. Right? Going back full circle to what we started talking about, which was the Afghanistan withdrawal. If you were to read the transcripts from the first
leave them alone.
With the Armed Services Committee and the chairman, Reid, Democrat senator, he has the right to make the opening statement. Then he asks the first questions. And he frames the whole thing from the very beginning in a partisan way, simply by trying to essentially say any shit that happened here is not Biden's fault. It's because of the previous administration agreeing to this GaDaH agreement. And that's how he frames it. He doesn't start this hearing, this investigative hearing, by saying, we brought these, experts who spent, each 4 decades in the military, who were intimately involved in what was going on in Afghanistan. We brought them here to hear from them. He starts it out by framing the way that he would like this to go. This is how it fucking works there in Washington, right? Because we allow these people to stay in office forever, right? Nobody wants to make a brave decision because they're all worried about getting elected again. And so he starts that out, then he asks questions, when he has the opportunity